For years, we were told one thing: move to the cloud. It's faster, it's cheaper, it's scalable, it's more secure. But recently, there's been a shift. Companies are moving their workload off of the cloud. It's called cloud backlash or declouding. So today I want to talk about what the cloud actually is, when it makes sense, when it doesn't. So I'll go over the red flags and the green flags of cloud computing. First, I do need a level set because the cloud can get complicated fast. At its core, the cloud is a operational expenditure for the IT infrastructure. Instead of owning hardware, you rent compute, storage, or services as needed. Some examples of those would be like Azure, AWS, or the Google Cloud. So the cloud isn't one thing; it's a business model pretty much wrapped around infrastructure. And here's where things get interesting. We're seeing real backlash. Companies are realizing cloud isn't the final answer or the only answer to their problems or to their workload. Even LinkedIn, which is owned by Microsoft, couldn't fully integrate their workload into Azure. And if that doesn't raise eyebrows, nothing should. The issue isn't that cloud failed, it's that expectations were unrealistic. So, the green flags. One of the strongest green flags is seasonal scalability. So, if your business model demands pretty much fluctuate, cloud shines. So, think about Barnes and Noble. On season, their traffic skyrockets. Off season, their traffic dips. So, huge spikes in traffic followed by quiet months. The cloud lets you spin up resources when demand is high and spin them down when demand is low. That elasticity is something that on-prem infrastructure just cannot handle. It's one size fits all. Another green flag is hybrid infrastructure. That's when you have a mix of on-premise architecture and cloud computing. With hybrid software, you get the best technical and economic outcome. So those are some green flags, but what are some red flags? Some applications don't belong on the cloud. Earlier I mentioned LinkedIn. That is owned by Microsoft, and yet most of the workload can't actually fit into Azure. A major red flag is when applications don't align with cloud economics. High ingress or egress traffic, constant compute usage, poor cloud optimization. That's how companies end up massively spending, blowing their budget, because not all applications align with the cloud economics. Another red flag is forced or immature cloud solutions. For example, some legacy systems can run in the cloud, but really, should they run in the cloud, or are you going to end up spending way too much money to make it work? For example, it could be like Oracle workload, Unix-based systems. The cloud versions of those exist, but they're often less efficient and more expensive than on-premise architecture. Just because it's possible doesn't mean it's wise. Another red flag is when cloud decisions are determined by hype. We have to be modern. We have to keep up with the modern world. There's pressure to be modern, even if the cost ends up spiraling out of control, especially when people are approving the spend and they aren't the ones actually flipping the bill. And that disconnect is dangerous. And here's the part we don't talk about enough. As cloud adaptation grows, the internet becomes more centralized. A handful of cloud services, ISPs, or DNS servers now sit on a critical choke point. When one of them has an issue, the impact is global. Think of Cloudflare. We traded decentralization for convenience, and that trade has consequences. And this leads us to one of the biggest problems in cloud computing: the lack of governance. There's no guardrails, there's no spending limits, and there's no accountability. Developers spin up instances, nobody shuts them down, and the bill continues to grow. You see this a lot with AWS. As new developers come in, they create this cloud software for them to use, and they forget about it, and they get an email saying, hey, here's your bill. Strong governance isn't optional. It's the difference between cloud success and cloud failure. The cloud isn't bad, but it isn't good either. When the strategy is solid, the cloud enables scale, speed, and resilience. When the strategy is weak, it amplifies waste, complexity, and cost. The question isn't should we move to the cloud, it's which workloads belong there and why. So I'm gonna leave you with this. What's the biggest cloud mistake you've seen or maybe experienced? Drop it in the comments below.